was just one day counting, like the blue Watson Lord Tab 10s.
Yeah.
Those were the good ones.
Yeah.
That's a good. Is that the good stuff?
Everybody's always asking for the Watson 10s.
They always they want the blue ones.
Yeah.
It's always the blue ones.
The white ones.
Backstory, I worked in a pharmacy for a long time.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a pill popping animal.
Pill popping animals.
All right, welcome back to Light Conversations, where we bring light to dark situations. You're rocking with your boy, and I go by the name of Nishatti. And across from me today, I got my boy.
Why do I always have to introduce myself? It's weird.
Why is it weird to introduce your own name?
Maybe I don't know. I do not like it. I do not like it at all.
I've never heard it. He go by the name of John, my man.
No, that's not what we're doing.
No spaces.
That's not. Ooh, there it is.
It's a sweet spot right there.
Hey, real quick. So sorry if the audio is horrible. We're trying a new set out.
Yep.
And we're still working through it. Some growing pains.
It's growing pains, y'all.
Which camera am I supposed? Oh, probably this one. Huh? This is my camera. We got 3 cameras going. We're big time.
Is the light supposed to be on?
Hey, you talk to your camera, buddy. You leave my camera alone, sir. Also, real quick, I have some, I have some things that we should get out the way.
Oh,
I have some things.
Gosh.
Okay,
Here comes the soapbox, bro.
Before we get to our guest.
Here comes the soapbox.
No, that's not a soapbox necessarily.
Okay.
But I do have some things.
All right.
I would just like to know why I'm in the corner here. Because nobody puts John in the corner. That's how it works.
Okay, I thought you was going somewhere totally different.
No. Okay, so that's one. So that's one. And I really should talk deeper because they're right there.
When we talk deep, the sound quality is so much better.
And I feel more masculine. So maybe this is a move.
So much better.
So anyway, Charles, I would like for you to look at your camera right here. Maybe zoom in so we can see the whites of his eyes, please.
Bruh, ask the question.
Look at your camera, please. And true or false?
All right.
I beat you today in basketball. True or false?
False. You cheat me today in basketball.
Did I win? Yes or no?
No, you cheated.
Did I have more? Okay. Did I have more points than you at the end of that game?
What game?
The first one.
The first one we ever played?
Where I won.
Bro, let's be honest. You want to kick it real? Let's kick it real.
Let's kick it real.
First and foremost, we're playing a game, and usually I don't play. I play defense around when John starts hitting around 8, 9, 10. That's where I start playing D at, right? Out of nowhere, he just shoots the ball. Game.
I actually said game before I shot the ball.
Game. I'm like, what do you mean game?
That's not on me.
Hold on, bro.
That's not on me.
What I'm telling you is he didn't call his score the entire time.
That's not on me.
He expects me to call the score.
Okay, but here's the actual truth. So backstory. So is Charles said he was like, listen, you'll know people will start respecting your game when they're keeping your score. And I'm like, all right, got it.
Keep a close eye on you.
He didn't keep my score at all today, so no respect. So I deserve to lose. That's all I'm saying.
So you kept your own score and you won.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
He could have possibly added some extra points to that.
Because you weren't keeping score.
There you go. Now let me tell you what happened after that. So once I figured out that he cheated me, I asked him what happened the very next game.
Happened?
Oh, he said you're not going to score again, and I scored again.
How many points you scored?
I don't know that.
1. Let's be real.
No, it wasn't more than 1.
Right hand to the man.
No, okay, right hand to the man. He wanted you right hand to the man.
Right hand to the man. Come on. You said what?
You said right hand to the man. I didn't win.
Right hand to the man. He cheated.
No, you didn't put your right hand.
And I made him pay for it the very next game. Do not cheat me.
Okay,
that's what's going to happen.
So that's the other thing. And then today, all 3 of us actually tried a new thing out. We went boxing.
Let's
talk about it.
First and foremost, you didn't even introduce our guest. You know what I'm saying?
No. It's suspense, Charles. Listen, let me take this one.
Oh God!
Let me take this one.
He's gonna sink the boat, yo.
Snap! What keeps happening? There's like audio. Anyway,
it's right here.
You son of a gun.
It's like you rocking a mic.
Anyway, yeah. So we tried some boxing out today.
Man, it felt good.
Some of them said that my name is John Tyson. Is actually what they're saying.
I did not hear that.
Oh, I paid somebody to say it. So,
okay.
So someone has said it.
No matter where.
I'm not saying there's any credibility at all, but somebody has said it.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
Honest opinion. Was he looking like John Tyson here today?
Well, who's John Tyson?
No.
The chicken. He's related to the chicken tycoon or whatever.
Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, put me in the Tyson family either way. Either side of Tyson's, I'm going to take it.
Not Mike.
Zach, was he looking like Tyson?
Nah.
Come on, keep it
I'm
honest.
going
to stab you with this
You talking about Mike Tyson himself.
chick up.
I think it's only right, bro, that you introduce the guest.
Yeah,
Who we got in the building today?
So today, we've got Zach Curry, who has an amazing story, and I think it's important to because all of the episodes thus far have been very focused on business and entrepreneurship and things like that.
Yep.
And while that's important, and while we could talk about that all day long,
sure.
that's not everything. And you and I
Right.
have talked about that. Where I think it's important. Everybody has a story, and everyone, if they want to, can learn from anyone's story.
Yep.
And you just have to ask the questions of like, because your journey is different than my journey. Your journey is different than my journey. So your outlook is different than mine.
Yeah, for sure.
And so Zach has an amazing story.
Okay.
That I feel like it's important that we help get that out there. So just I'll kind of tee it up.
Yeah.
And then Zach, who sounds better on mic anyway,
Than any of us.
can take it from there. But this man was a pharmacist and was a married man, and I actually feel weird about telling your story. I really do.
We're gonna jump into it.
No, I love your story.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I don't want to tell it.
Zach, first and foremost, how you doing today, my man?
I'm fantastic. I'm a little sore already.
Okay. The boxer was too nice to you?
From
Zach
boxing.
Tyson. Something said. Something said.
That was more like a Zach Holyfield or a
Ooh, cottage cheese.
Zach Ali.
Zach Ali.
Yeah.
Lee, Boomba, yeah.
Do you think it would be weird if
Merriweather.
all of us just shared his mic? Because it might be his mic. Scoot over.
Nah, bro.
We're all
Hey,
coming
if
over.
you're a true fan, you just got to rock out with us on this one. You know what I'm
call him
saying?
out like that. Okay.
Yeah. If they rocking with us, man, support us through these tough times, because you know it's gonna get greater later. And since I rhymed, I gotta say it 2 times. It's gonna get greater later.
But you rhymed about saying 2 times.
I know, right?
So
So
how
since
you
I
gonna do
rhymed,
that?
I gotta say it 2 times.
Okay.
That's how we
Anyway,
go.
take it away.
All right, so from the beginning, my man, Zach, what is your last name, bro?
Curry. Curry.
Oh, are you ready to
Like
step?
the spice.
No, I was thinking more steps, but
I wish.
okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, more like the spice.
Yeah.
Gives you the runs.
Hang around me long enough, I will give you diarrhea.
Born and raised. Where you born and raised at, my man?
Ada, Oklahoma.
Ada, Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Any siblings?
I've got one sister. She's 3 years younger than me.
Okay, 3 years.
Love her to death.
Shout out to the sis. Shout out to the sis.
I've put her through some stuff.
Have you?
Yeah. She loves me. She won't admit it, but she does.
Sure, you're right.
Do you feel like that's most people in your life?
Yeah.
They just won't admit that they
Yeah.
love you?
You are number one.
Wow.
I'm going to
Number-
get you to admit. that
Hey,
you
he
love
just
me
said I was
one
number
day.
one.
Number one in the
Tell
heart.
mom I made it.
That's love. That's love,
he
man.
didn't say what number one I was, but
Big
I'm
facts.
number one.
We'll take it. We'll take it. We're running, right?
Number one at boxing. That's what he was saying.
You're number one of me trying to get you to admit that you love me.
Hey, I actually hugged you today, and so that's your one for the year.
You ain't never hugged me before. What's up with
what
all
I'm
this, man? So what you got
Yeah,
going
he's
on,
good.
bro?
Because
He
you
had
got the
motives,
YouTube
though.
shorts, you don't need me.
Oh, we're not going. We're not going. All right, my man. You got a mom, dad. Who was you raised by? Both parents in the home?
Yeah. So my mom and dad, born and raised in Ada. Like I said, mom and dad together. They split when I was in 6th grade. So I think I was
Okay.
like 13.
Yep.
Very amicable split, but still friends, all that good stuff.
Yep.
But
Did it affect
yeah.
you in any way?
I think so. I don't know that. I mean, at the time, I didn't think it did, but looking back on it, I'm sure that living with my mom and sister, and then my dad, he moved and did work things and try to support us, but he moved around a little bit, and he was in the Army, and so yeah, I mean, I'm sure it had some effect on me. No, it wasn't one of those divorces where I was like, oh, I felt like it was my fault, or
Right.
took any of that guilt and shame on, but yeah, I'm sure it did.
Okay.
It's had some.
So what kind of kid was that? What kind of kid was you? Give us a little.
I was a good kid, honestly. I think I got I was very.
I checked your sources.
We all
It's not looking
all
good.
kind of
So.
say that about ourselves too. Like I was a good kid.
Yeah.
Looking back.
No, I had, I was a very studious kid. I was
Okay.
an athletic kid. Had a lot of friends. Stayed out of trouble for the most part. Was kind of a class clown here and there.
I peeped the athleticism today, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I see the way he doing them jump rolls. He ain't too bad after all.
I grew up playing tennis and soccer and baseball and football, basketball, like literally all the sports. But my main two were tennis and soccer. Those are my true loves.
Classic white guy sports. No, we're all thinking I'll say
Country
it's like,
club boy.
yeah, exactly. I got tennis and like golf, maybe. And what was the new one everybody's into right now?
What is that?
Pickleball.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, pickleball's in now?
classic white.
Oh,
guy.
Is it now?
Classic
dominates
That's all I'm saying.
pickleball.
Yeah.
Oh, dominate. Okay. Let's see. Let's fast forward. What was you like in high school?
So high school, that's when I started really experimenting with drugs and alcohol. Smoked weed for the first time when I was.
You're right. We're going in.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was a big part of my high school career was, smoking weed.
Yeah.
And drinking
Yeah.
on the weekends mainly.
Right. Yeah.
Responsible.
Yeah, I was very.
I'm very responsible. Drinker and smoker.
I was a responsible high
I was
school
a
underage kid.
responsible 13-year-old.
Oh, 13? Oh, we didn't talk about. I have no concept of high school kid. Like I have no idea what age that is.
No.
That is true.
Well,
What was that? I think it was
I started
14.
drinking and doing drugs when I was 13, 14.
No joke.
And then I went into high school.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But again, I was a very, straight A student.
No joke.
Didn't get in trouble at school.
Wow. You put it off good.
Had a girlfriend, serious
Yep.
girlfriend, all that good stuff. But
You're doing an excellent job of bringing both of the co-hosts in to your story. So I'd just like to commend you on that.
This man's a natural.
don't-
This man's a natural. We see what you got going on.
Hey, you
here.
can take my job.
He trying to
Nobody
be,
wants to see me on the
third
shorts.
host, huh? There you
gotta
go.
get over the shorts thing.
Are we gonna still? Do you want to bring the shorts?
No, I don't. Actually.
like-
I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk
It's
about.
like we go into one subject, and next thing you know, here comes the shorts.
Zach,
Like,
let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's go. I'll let you take me into it.
So let's talk about college and what you decided to do as a career and where it went from there.
Yeah. So, pretty early on. So I grew up with not a. I didn't want for a lot, but I grew up in a where finances were always kind of a struggle.
Yeah.
So I grew up with this mentality that I knew that I wanted to do something that would alleviate any sort of like financial stress, right?
Yeah.
And so. You always hear growing up like doctors, lawyers, that kind of thing. You make good money doing that stuff. So that's where my motivation came from. Was like I'm not gonna grow up like my mom and dad. And all.
Right.
So I decided to go into the medical field, or that's what I wanted to do. So I went to college, majored in biology, minored in chemistry, with plans to go to med school, and so. But again, a theme throughout college was, blackout drinking on the weekends and
Blackout.
oh yeah,
But still on the weekends, though.
oh yeah. But when I wasn't drinking or getting
Why do you
high,
always gesture towards me with the bad stuff? Let's talk about this. He's always like, I'm a good guy, and then to Charles, and like, drinking on the weekends towards me every time. Let's change it up. Let's
So,
go bad stuff towards
I'll just
Charles.
pretend you were not even here.
Yeah, thank you.
No, so I partied a lot in college, but I maintained, like I said, my focus was school and education because I knew that was my way out. And so if I wasn't, at the bar or partying or whatever, I was in the library, making sure that, my grades were on point. And then the summer before my senior year, I decided to move up. I moved to Norman and take this class. It's called a Kaplan class for the MCAT.
Oh, okay.
So a whole summer dedicated to just studying for the MCAT. It cost I think my dad's going to kill me. He paid like $2,500.
The MCAT is what for people to know?
The test to get into med school.
Okay, got it.
So
Because I was lost in the sauce.
yeah,
I got
I appreciate you, bro.
yeah.
Appreciate you.
Sorry, I just assume everybody knew.
No, I'm just retarded. It's fine.
So
I'm right with you.
my dad pays all this money for me to go up and take this class, and I'm gonna, score high on the MCAT, get into med school, all this. I partied. I don't think I even went to that class, maybe, but like 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Sorry, Dad.
Shout out to Pop Self for supporting you. A real
Yeah.
one.
No,
He was a real one.
we'll block him on when we post it. We'll just block him so you can't see it. It's fine.
So, took the MCAT at the end of the summer and did okay,
Okay.
but not well enough to, I would have had to take it again to really have any chance of getting into med school. So, decided that I really didn't want to take it again because it's a heck of a test. And,
For real?
Yeah. Pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of my best friends was, he had just gotten into pharmacy school. And I was like, I could do that. That's only
Might be
4
it.
more years of school.
Yeah.
As opposed to like 10.
Yeah.
You don't have to do all the, the surgery residencies and the
Right.
fellowships and all that stuff. And you still make good money. And,
That's
you
love.
have a career security, job security.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what the heck? I'll give that a shot. So fast forward, get into pharmacy school. And yeah, I mean, the partying still continues, but leading up to that point, I'd never really done anything outside of like drinking and cannabis necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, I dabbled with some party drugs here and there, but
Nothing too crazy.
yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
So I got into pharmacy school, graduated, and the summer after, graduated in June, got married in July.
Okay. Life is good.
Yeah, things are good. I got my first job, and I don't know how. Like, do you want to ask questions? Or you want me to just?
No, you just go.
You let it fly.
Okay.
We'll stop you if you need
Yeah,
to.
we'll be retarded every once in a while. We'll just,
Okay.
yeah.
So, got my first job out of pharmacy school as a pharmacy manager, and I still to this day don't really know what it was that came over me one day. I was at work.
Yeah.
And this was probably like, kind of not really the height of the opioid epidemic, but it was still a very real deal. And so
Now, how old are you at this time?
I would have been 26,
Okay.
something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, 26, 27. And I remember, of course I learned about how addictive drugs were in pharmacy school, and I knew I was very educated on that kind of thing. But I remember people coming in to the pharmacy with scripts for Lortab and Soma and Xanax, all the drugs, right?
Yeah.
And just pull out wads of cash and pay for them, and
Really?
and just really fiending for these drugs. Come in like, oh, well, we're out of stock, and would just freak out, or this is, you just filled this 2 weeks ago, you got to come back.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
Right.
And people would just flip out, and I just remember thinking like, God, what is it? Like, this stuff must be.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember exactly. I mean, it was maybe 3 months into my first job out of pharmacy school, and it was just like.
Hey, John was a pill popper.
No, I knew, I was like,
Public
I
service
saw some
announcement.
judgment creeping in over here. So I was like, I feel like I should just touch base on this
Bro,
real
you're
quick.
talking to the ex-street pharmacist, so I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, no judgment over here. Trust me.
Cover that label. We don't have sponsorships by them yet.
Yeah, we ain't giving no love in the club.
Yeah, blur it out.
No love in the club.
So yeah, that
So
was
you counting up, right?
Yeah, and I just remember, and one day I was like, you know what, I don't even think I thought about it. I just popped it in my mouth, and my life literally changed like that.
No joke.
Forever.
So
It's
this
just
is
like this feeling of every care I ever had was gone. Just like this warm, euphoric sensation came over my body, and I was like, I'm gonna feel like this
all the time
for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And I had it, had it at my fingertips.
Yes,
all day,
accessible.
every day.
Oh yeah. I didn't
so-
think about that.
Yeah, so it went from, one pill one time to, really quick. I don't remember the exact timeline, but it was, probably 6 months, and I was I went from one Lortab 10 to, 30 milligram, instant release Oxycontin. And, and I would combine, everything. Like, it just became like kind of a game, like, let's just see how messed up I can get without getting caught. Yeah.
Hey, listen, the only problem I have with your story so far is I worked in pharmacy for a while. Okay. And I never saw a dang pharmacist actually count pills.
For real?
Yeah, they never
That's
did.
because I was a real team player.
Oh, I don't know. So pharmacy world is you count in fives. Okay, you have a little spatula and a little tray.
Okay.
You have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All I'm saying is I would smoke you in a counting competition. That's all I'm saying.
John turns everything into a competition.
I'm just saying. I would absolutely just wipe the tray with that.
So I'm listening to the effects that you said that the Lortabs or the pills had on you, and you was like, you didn't have a care in the world or anything like that. So when I used to smoke weed, that was my feeling, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it was euphoric the way you described it, boy. You made it sound good. You know what I'm saying? But like, it really did. Like you took that mug to another level. But I feel like when I smoked weed, that was my feeling. Like I was carefree or whatever the case may be. So what made you feel like you needed that extra you know what I mean?
I don't know, honestly.
Just curiosity?
Yeah. Yep. And it just, like I said, it was just a feeling that, there was some feeling that I was trying to escape that maybe I wasn't aware of. I don't really have a good answer to what that feeling was.
Yep.
I think, I just like anybody else, I struggle with insecurities and, feelings of feeling less than, not enough, not good enough, all that stuff.
So help me out with that though, because life is good. You married, right? Mm-hmm. At this moment, you married. How much you bringing home to bank? How much you bringing home in the bank, man?
It was like, I don't know, 130 or so.
You bring it home. Hold on, Johnny's bringing home 130.
No, and I think that.
And you insecure?
This goes back to like where we started though. Is like everybody has their demons, whatever they are. So everybody's got their own demons, but money cannot solve them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree with that.
And so like that's why it's so key to have people like Zach or somebody else on the podcast and talk about this stuff, because it's like, it's easy to get swept up in the sexiness of success, right? But you could be making over 6 figures, but you still are a human at the end of the day, and you still have the same issues that you have. Yeah. And so that's why I think it's like that's why this conversation is so important.
For sure. And I'm just for me, I always try to figure out, I feel like things always come from somewhere, right? You say this insecurities is like, where is it coming from? Is this coming from the marriage? Did this come from the upbringing? You feel like, parents wise, did you feel like your peer group, like what made you feel insecure? Because I feel like that has to come from somewhere, right?
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, at the time, I don't think I knew.
Okay.
Or that I was even aware of insecurities. I do remember thinking like there were a few times where, I was making good money. I did have the wife, the house, and the cars, all that stuff.
That's life.
I dread. The only reason I wanted to go into work was to get drugs. Like that was it. Otherwise, I hated it.
No joke.
Hated it.
That's a lesson right there.
Yeah, and I mean, you could have paid me maybe $1 million a year. I still would have hated it.
Wow.
I just, there was something about it, and I was like, I had this realization, like, dang, I got to do this for the rest of my life. Like this sucks. I don't want to. And I didn't know a way out necessarily. I felt kind of trapped.
There it is right there.
And so, I mean, there was, and then the addiction got to the point where even if, and there were definitely times where I was like, man, this is not, I got to stop this. But
it's too late.
Yeah, it was way too late.
It's too late.
It was too late. And I didn't really care, at that point.
So you already took a left turn, right? But like, when did it really start to take even more of a left turn? Like you took a left turn by using the pills, right? Mm-hmm. Then you took a left turn by getting addicted to it. What came after that?
Yeah, so things really started to fall apart when I lost my first job. They started to kind of catch on what was going on and randomly drug tested me.
What?
Yeah, and
Well, that's because you were so swole, though. That was,
Yeah, no, I was
different.
I was not swole back
He on
then.
road.
That's different back then.
I was not.
In the NFL, you like have an awesome game. They're like, oh, here's a random drug
Yeah,
test.
let's do
All
it.
right, come on.
Yeah. No, so they started catching on. So I failed that drug test. There's a whole story behind that too, but I won't get into it. But
Can you get into it? We can go.
yeah. No, I mean, it's just,
Okay.
yeah, it's not that. Yeah, I should have passed the drug test. Actually.
You should have.
Yeah, I should have because I cheated my way through
I was
it.
just about to say that you cheated,
I
didn't you?
cheated my way through it.
You
but
cheated.
I still got caught. You know.
Gosh.
So anyway, it was, everything happens the way it's supposed to. But
For sure.
Yeah. So I was on probation with the board for a year. Kind of manipulated my way out of really getting in any serious trouble.
That's love.
Told him I didn't have a problem.
You said that's love.
I mean, that is love, bro.
His way out
It's
of
not love that he manipulated.
Nah, that's love. Nah.
Let me hear you out, bro.
bro.
I'm saying it's not love that he manipulated his way out of the situation, but it was
No,
love
I know
that
what
he
you're
was able
saying.
not
I
to
know
get in
what you're
trouble.
saying.
You
I know
know,
what you're
I know all about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the trouble would come, but
Okay.
yeah. So I lost that job. Worked as a PRN pharmacist, which means I would fill in
As needed.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, I still know the lingo.
Come
It's
on,
been a
John.
minute,
You wasn't
too.
there like that, man.
So I was a 1099. So I contracted.
Okay.
So I didn't work for anyone in particular.
Yeah.
I could just kind of work for myself and
Right.
would fill in, and it was perfect because I would only be in a pharmacy for 2 or 3 days at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Fill my pockets up and leave and go on to the next one, and
Right.
and so
And it just like a robber.
yeah, it just got worse and worse and worse. And then I got hired on at Walgreens. And I was able to get clean for a couple of days in order to pass a drug test.
Oh.
And
How long does pill stay in your system?
3 or 4 days, maybe.
Oh, no joke. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody out there's like,
Which pills exactly?
that's not the point of this podcast, okay?
We ain't trying to educate you on that.
Yeah.
3 or 4 days, guys.
Oh.
Which ones are they?
Yeah.
So you at Walgreens.
Yeah, so I got hired on at Walgreens as a floater. So I worked at every Walgreens, basically from McAllister up to Grove, and again would just be at a store for a couple of days at a time.
Yeah.
And so, my mentality was, oh well, I can just help myself to whatever. They'll think it's John who's here every day. They're gonna look at
Again with the gesture.
Let's find out John was out
Again
here
with the
stealing.
gestures.
they're gonna look at him
Sticky
first because
fingers.
Would you put the finger away?
Sticky
You really
fingers over
stuck that
there.
out there for a while, didn't he?
it was not me, it was him.
It was him. Okay.
So when if the inventory all came all off,
You already know who it
I
was.
was gone
Out
you
of there.
And so and that's my mentality. I don't think it was accurate, but that's how I convinced myself that it was okay to do whatever I was doing. So,
They're just gonna blame it on somebody else. Like,
yeah, exactly.
This ain't nothing.
And try to track me down, I dare you. But so that
Sounds
went on.
very
agent.
ominous. didn't
Yeah.
it? It's like, you can't find me.
Secret agent man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And funny story, I got robbed 3 times when I was at Walgreens.
Say what?
Yeah, and the first time kind of freaked me out. The second and third times though, I was like, all right, this is great because
You was high.
I'm gonna stuff my pockets, and then when I fill out the police report, I'm gonna be like, he got away with
Yeah,
this.
he
away
got
with
this
he
whole
got away with
bottle of
Yeah,
oxycodone.
You was
literally
a crafty criminal, boy. I tell
Yeah.
you what, you good.
Yeah, I love getting robbed.
So
So
did said no one ever.
That's a YouTube short right there. Why does that Curry love getting robbed?
You say you love what, bro? One more time for the people in the
I
back.
love getting robbed.
Oh my god.
So
Oh. Did you feel like that affected you in any way?
what's that?
Like, did you feel like you have any trauma from getting? Was it like
No,
not at all?
no,
Okay.
0.
Well, he's high. He doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
So he's fine.
Now I did. I've had friends that got robbed that had guns to their heads.
Oh, you didn't have no guns on you or
No.
anything?
All 3 times it was just like, hey, I have a gun, so don't do anything stupid.
Okay.
Here's a note. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. So anyway,
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'll follow this order.
You got it
Trust
off.
me.
You got it
Trust
off.
me.
It ain't
meet me in the parking lot.
We can do this at the next job too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's run this play.
Going next.
Straight up.
Actually, store 607 has the
Right.
good stuff.
Yeah, I'll be there
Come back.
tomorrow.
Yeah, come back.
So anyway, I got. It eventually all came to a head at Walgreens. I was working. It was November of 2014. I had gone to lunch, came back, and then the loss prevention guy came back to the pharmacy and asked for me, and I knew that wasn't good.
Dang. Loss prevention, what's that?
It's like the people who, monitor like the cameras and stuff to make sure people aren't stealing and stuff.
It's like the internal affairs of like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. I follow
Their whole job is to get you.
Yeah.
That's ugly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's no good scenario if they're in your store.
No.
For real?
Somebody's going to jail type of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not a good thing.
Yeah. So they came, it took me back to the office and, called me out on my stuff.
Dang.
And, I admitted to it. I mean, I knew this has been going on for 3 years at this point.
Oh, this is 3 years at this point.
Yeah.
Dang.
And so
You went a cold play on them.
I was done. And 2 months prior to that, my son was born in September.
Wow.
And so, for 9 months, for my wife's pregnancy, I would wake up every day and be like, okay, we got a kid on the way.
Dang.
Like, I gotta stop this. But,
Yeah, for sure.
couldn't. Literally could not stop.
Wow.
And I knew that I needed help, but I wasn't gonna tell on myself.
Yep.
In my mind, I was like, well, I'm not gonna rat myself out.
Does your wife know at this point, or
No.
she doesn't know?
Nope.
These whole 3 years, she ain't know. There's no weird activity from you.
No, I mean, she, I lost my first job because I failed a drug test, but like I said, I manipulated.
Party.
I said it was, it was like a fluke thing or whatever.
That boy's good.
Yeah.
You should have been a lawyer.
Yeah. Now, in hindsight, yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, in hindsight, she, she could look back and be like, oh yeah, well, you did do a lot of weird stuff, and so.
Yeah.
But anyway, I called her from jail, and was like, hey, I got arrested. And, it was
Oh, you got arrested for that?
yeah.
Oh, it's
I
the
got,
big guns now.
I got taken out in my white coat and handcuffs.
Dang.
Made the news, didn't you?
Yeah, made
Made
the
the
news.
news.
You made the news?
Yeah.
Oh, dog.
Made the Tulsa World. I mean, yeah, it
As
was.
seen on.
So
Yeah.
how you feeling at this point? What's going through your
Oh,
mind?
my life is over at that point. Yeah, I mean, it was brutal. 2-month-old at home.
Gosh.
Went from making $130,000 a year to no job.
Oh gosh. 10 cents if you go to prison.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
10 cents a license plate.
Yeah. So I went to.
Shout out to everybody locked up, man. Freedom guys, all the good. Shout out to my boys. All right, yeah.
Yeah. So I got out of jail, went to rehab like 2 days later. Spent 30 days there, and that turned into a year of staying. I was sober for a year.
Oh, no joke. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much all of 2015.
We on a good road.
I was sober, and
What are you doing at this point for a job during this time?
Good question.
that I don't even remember. Like my parents helped out a lot. Her parents helped out a lot, like paying our mortgage and stuff. While I
So obviously,
tried to find work.
everybody in your life knows at this point because
Yeah,
it's in the news.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there was no hiding it then.
How did they respond?
Pretty, fairly supportive.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Good.
because I was doing well. And then I got a job with a buddy doing some like pharmaceutical sales stuff, and was hopeful that would work out, and it was harder than I thought, and it didn't work out. So in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? Going back to pharmacy, it was an option, but it was not.
They were still gonna let you get back in the pharmacy world?
Yeah.
No joke.
You don't understand the need that they're all
For real.
yeah.
Dang, okay.
He'd be out there murdering people and be like, do you promise not to murder anybody else? Okay,
Come on
fine,
back.
Come on. Hey, come on back. It's rough out there.
Gosh.
Yeah.
They need the folks. Can I apply? 130K? I might have to get in where I fit in. You know what I'm
8
saying?
years of your life.
Yeah.
God. Oh, no, that's too much.
Yeah. So, but I knew I didn't want to get back into at least like the retail pharmacy. It
Yeah.
would have been not good.
Right.
So, so that's when I decided, well, okay, what am I going to do with my life? One of my best friends, he's a healthcare attorney. He planted the seed in me. He's like, you've got this healthcare background. Why don't you look at, getting into law school? And I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, I'll look into it. Right.
Right,
And so I did, and ended up getting into law school. So
Okay.
got accepted to TU here.
What he's saying is he's very freaking smart. That's what he's saying. Like, yeah, I got
So
into
you
pharmacy
went from
school,
pharmacy school to law school.
This is like
just
what's that
applied
movie with? It's like Catch Me If You Can. It's like he just
yeah.
does different. It's like,
I don't think I've
I'm a
seen that
doctor. I'm
before.
a lawyer. I'm a
Right.
it's just all these different things.
You heard him say Catch Me If You Can
Before we
earlier.
go to the law school, though, I do have a question about so you were sober for a year.
Mm-hmm.
What was like? What kept you sober for a year, type of thing? Like
Well, I
what
was
made
going-
that successful?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it really was successful. I wasn't necessarily doing well, like internally anyway. You know, I was going to AA every day. I didn't really have any sort of like spiritual life though, and I was going to kind of get to this point now, but I'll do it or later, but I'll do it now. So
God, ruin everything.
my, you know, my sobriety today is for me, right? So at that point, my sobriety was, I'm going to keep my family together. You know, I'm going to keep my wife from leaving me and keep my kid and
So
Yeah.
for somebody else.
keep it all together, right?
Sure.
And so that was my main motivation, which did not work out. And so when it didn't work out, so like I said, I got into law school, and then my now ex-wife filed for divorce, and you know,
Why is this? Why is she filing for divorce?
I mean, she had her reasons. I don't blame her for any of that. But it was, you know, she just didn't feel safe, you know, like supported and, you know, provided for.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Women love security.
yeah.
Yep.
And so,
People
I wish I
love
get that.
We can argue about that a different day.
Yeah, but men can thug it out. Nope, I'm here.
Table it.
But men, we can thug it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We can grind it out. We can live by a very minimum. Hey, man, this is a little different.
And I'm saying I've met some women and men that are the opposite. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Soft men.
Yeah. So,
I'm not disagreeing with that point. I'm just saying
Yeah.
I've met those people.
Right.
so yeah, that was it. That was because I was staying sober to keep my family together.
Yep.
Once that fell apart, I hit the F it button,
Yep.
and it just, you know, went off, I was off to the races again. Dropped out of law school.
Dang.
Moved out of Tulsa. I was like, you know, I'm just going to get away from this place. It's not good for me.
Yeah.
I was in a dark spot, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all that. So I went down to Norman, moved in with one of my best friends. He remodels homes.
Oh, okay.
And so I went to work with him, and I was down in Norman for about a month and got a DUI and a possession, paraphernalia charge. And
Yeah, he's thugging.
yeah.
He's
And then, you know, fast forward a little bit, and, you know, so opiates were my downfall originally.
Yep.
You know, painkillers, and that's what took me to my knees. So I swore that I would never do that again.
Okay.
You know, I'd drink and do some cocaine here and there, some
Little
ecstasy,
something.
you know, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But I'm never gonna do opiates again.
It's a man of principles at this point.
Right.
A man of principles.
I was a good man.
Oh, sure.
But I met a buddy who ended up being one of my good friends, and I lived with him for a while, and I didn't know it at the time, but he was a heroin addict. And I found that out after I'd lived, you know, I was his roommate for a month or two.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I'll just try it. I never tried heroin at that point.
It's not an
Yeah, I was
opioid,
like-
so it's fine.
Oh, because it was an opioid?
It's
Okay.
a pain pill, so it's
Interesting.
good to go.
Absolutely is.
Good to go.
And so, you know, I just had that addict mindset that I could just do it once or twice and leave it alone. And, you know, that's my brain telling me like that I'm different and I'm special, and
Right.
I'm not.
Arrogance.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. And so, I mean, it was real quick. Well, I was right back at it. And,
Really. Rockstar.
yeah. And before you know it, you know, I've got like a $200 a day heroin habit, and, you know, warrant out for my arrest, and,
For what? This is
that-
from the DUI, like you bounced or something?
Yeah, a DUI that I just never went back to court for.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Didn't have. I was spending all my money. I was waiting tables at the time, and I mean, I would literally work every single day for a couple of years. I felt like every single day just to make enough money. Put $5 of gas in my car, and then the rest of it was
Wow.
What?
gone to whatever.
Stressing Charles.
Well, I'm blown away because you go from, let's say you wasn't happy or whatever, but it's just like you go from living a lifestyle that 130K can support to just busting tables, and it's just like, I'm good with just enough. You know what I'm saying? As long as I got gas, like, how do you go from there to there and be like, okay, is it just a drug that's controlling you at the time, or?
Yeah, no, and you don't have any other, or I did not have any other choice,
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it was either be sick and, want to kill myself.
That's real.
Or hustle and get high.
Get it out. God.
And numb it enough so you don't want to kill yourself.
Big facts.
Yeah. Because at least you're
Yeah,
getting high.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, and I did that for, like I said, a couple of years. And then it just it caught up to me. I mean, there were, a lot over those 2 years, a lot happened. And obviously I declined mentally. And, there were days I'd wake up and just, if I had a gun or something, I probably would have just ended it. But I also, had my son who, my relationship obviously was not great there.
Yeah.
He was living in Tulsa. I was in Oklahoma City. Would see him a couple times a year, maybe. But even when I saw him, I was locking myself in the bathroom and getting high or whatever.
No joke.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah. So it finally just, I'd reached the point where, I'd totaled a car. Really just did not have. I ran out of resources. Is really what happened.
Yep.
Because if I'd still had money and I still had a vehicle and I still had all the stuff, I would have
You'd
kept
be able
going.
to do what you needed to do.
But eventually, all those things I'd lost them all, and called my mom up and was just like, "Hey, I need help. Like, I can't do this anymore." And so I ended up getting into sober living here.
Okay.
Hope is Alive here in Tulsa.
Shout out to them. Hope is alive.
Yeah, and was there for 2 years, and life was great. Got my relationship back with my kid.
We back.
Yeah, things were good.
Okay.
And I was sober for a little over 2 years, and my ego and pride and all that stuff came creeping back in. I got some stuff back.
Yeah.
And real quickly realized that I'm still a drug addict. I'm still a drug addict. I'm still an alcoholic, and so I had a little lapse this time last year. Actually, it only lasted for a couple of months, but it got bad real quick.
Yeah,
real bad, real quick.
Is that because during the 2 years that you were sober, were you still at this point not being sober for you? Was it still for other things?
No, I think at that point it was for me. I don't. I don't. I
Was
still
there
had a
something
lot of-
like what caused the? Hey, I just need to.
Did you miss it?
Get sell my wild oats type of thing, or
Yeah, I can't really pinpoint it. I think there was a lot of internal work that I still hadn't done.
Ooh, yeah.
I still hadn't really figured out why I do the things that I do. What the things that trigger me or the things that make me want to use and drink and numb out all the pain and this feeling and that feeling. And so, I let all that just kind of take over. And so, like I said, and it's when you relapse after a certain time, every time that happens, it gets worse and worse and worse. And it happens quicker and quicker and quicker.
Okay.
And so, it got real bad. I almost went back to jail about a month and a half into my relapse, and luckily I'm very blessed. I'm I tell everybody I'm highly favored because I don't deserve any of the stuff that I have now. The relationships I have now, the job I have now. Like I should be in prison or dead.
Wow.
Those are the two places I should be.
Yeah.
But like John and I talked, for some reason I'm not. For some reason I'm here talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. Some have said this worse, actually. This is your penance, buddy.
I should be in bed right now, but here I am.
Not lying.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, I got back. I called some people that I knew when I knew that it was when I was back at another bottom, or that I was headed to a bottom real quick.
Yep.
And the bottom just gets lower every time.
For sure.
And so got back into recovery, into Hope is Alive.
Yeah.
And I've been there since March 5th. I think I got back in.
Okay.
And about to graduate on Friday.
Hey! Congrats to my boy.
Yeah. So finally growing up at 38 years old.
Come on, we there. Hey, it's greater later, my boy.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. And there's a lot more to the story, of course.
Sure.
There's always, things that I'm leaving out. But the point is, and I think the point that I'm trying to make is that, things can get bad, things get dark, but there's always a way out. You know, if you're looking for it.
Yep.
That's something that took me a while to really learn, is that if you want help, it's out there.
Okay.
Yep. You just gotta humble yourself and submit and wave that white flag.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, my relationship with God is something that I had never had before. Growing up, and I was always kind of a, especially in college, I was an agnostic, I guess, at best, probably. Sometimes borderline atheist. Would have those drunk arguments,
Right.
3 or 4 in the morning, be like,
Drunken
God
arguments
is
always come
real.
back to God. Right. I don't know what it is. Always come back to God.
But I'm fully convinced now that God is real, and He does love me, and He's got a plan for me.
Come on.
As long as I, seek Him and submit to His plan and stay obedient, my life can't get anything but better.
Come on. Yeah.
So.
And it's, man, what a mighty God we serve, man, because He'll wait out all the stuff you feel like you want to do. Don't worry, I'll wait on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the chances He gave you, don't worry, I'll wait on you. I love you that much that I'll wait on you. Like, you're going to have that much of a calling on your life that I'll wait on you. You're going to affect so many people. There's so many people who's going to need you when you actually do get whole and you do get healed. So don't worry, I'll wait on you. You my son. I still love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have that unconditional love, man, that's a different thing right there.
Yeah. It doesn't feel real.
Yeah. Yep.
We can't fathom it. So it's like, you think about like whoever you love the most, or if you've ever loved the most.
Yep.
And it's like it's a different love, and we just literally just cannot fathom it.
Real talk.
I do have a question. So if somebody's out there and they are struggling with drugs, alcohol, addiction of any sort, darkness, even, like I myself, like just being completely transparent, have gone through a suicidal phase. Like I've tried to kill myself in the past.
No doubt.
And like that's a different story for a different day.
Yeah.
And but it's like, what would you? So if somebody's dealing with those types of demons, like what would you say is like, this guys, do this one thing?
Yeah.
Well,
first of all, it's that old cliche is that you're not alone.
Yep.
You hear that a lot, and when you're in those types of spaces, mentally or whatever, they're very lonely.
Right.
Yeah. You feel very alone.
Yeah.
But the ticket out for me anyway was finding other people that were going through the same thing.
There it is.
Getting connected with those people, and doing life with those people.
There we are.
The people who had done the same things that I did, that I thought I was very unique and very special, and things that no one had ever done, which is just a lie. The guys I hang out with today they've all done much worse. And,
Yeah.
We hang out. Man, that's just it. No.
Jonathan Kelly. All right.
the guys I hang out with have done much worse.
Again with the finger pointing.
I ain't gonna point no elbows or nothing.
To brag on Hope is Alive though, like everything I know about I mean, you could talk about it more, but everything I know is like this is a solid program. They have like a 97, 98%. Like if you go through the program, like you stay sober type of thing.
joke.
Yeah.
Like this is like the real deal type of I mean,
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And, I worked for them for a year doing, fundraising and volunteer coordination and things like that. And, it's a fantastic program.
Why do you think they're so successful versus like other programs not being as successful?
I mean, I have to give credit to the fact that it's faith-based,
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of structure and a lot of rules. And I mean, it's a tough deal. It's not just you go crash and you pay a weekly fee and you get drug tested every once in a while. I mean, it's a rigorous, you're going to dig down. You're going to find like the root of the problem of why
you have to deal with your demons, your inner demons type of thing.
Yeah. Which is something that I didn't do a good job of the first time around. And realized it, and then this time around came back and like, okay, this is where I really dropped the ball, and this is where I got to pick up the pieces and do this thing the right way.
The right way.
So, it's life changing if you take it serious and you jump in and do it. Mm-hmm. Just the community part of it. I mean, there's a lot of aspects of it that are the reason it's so successful, but. For me, I've made some lifelong friends, and found myself and learned who I am and why I do the things I do, and, how to, the relationship with God, the relationship with myself, how to have relationships with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't gesture towards me that one, but
still trying to figure that one out.
As you were talking about learning yourself, just want to say, continue to learn yourself, right? Because what feeds you in this season may not feed you in your next season as you go, right? Yeah. As you're a baby, you drink milk and things like that. But as you grow, you start to eat actual food, right?
Yeah.
So don't get tied down into, okay, boom, this is what feed me, this is what feed me. It's like, be flexible, be open to continue to change. And right now you're still in your cocoon, but I believe, you know what I'm saying, I can just see it, you're about to be a butterfly, and it's just like your hand is going to touch so many, you know what I'm saying, it's going to trickle down. And I just want to commend you just for overcoming to just where you are now, bro. Like, that is something to celebrate. Don't wait for anybody to celebrate you. Like, when that graduation hit, hey, celebrate good times, bro, because it is tough. And like, I know people who die like that. Like, that's the only way. Like, and for you to still be here, man, God must really have a calling on your life. You must really have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it's not up to you to figure that out as of right now. Yeah. It's just up to you to just walk it out. You know what I'm saying? Something somebody told me, it's just much easier for you to climb to the top of the mountain and then pull somebody up, as opposed to try to drag them on your back on the way up. You know what I'm saying? So get you right first. Make sure you straight. And then at the end of the day, you're going to be able to affect so many other people, man. So shout out to you for that, dog.
That's
I appreciate that.
Seriously. Yeah, I think what you're saying is key, though, is it's okay to not know God's plan.
Oh, yeah.
Like it is,
Seriously.
So what happens in I don't want to like steal your story or whatever, but like what happens in these types of things is like everybody's like, oh, God must have an awesome plan for you. Yeah. Like God must have this great plan for you. Yeah. And they start putting these types of like God expectations on you. And man, you're dropping the mic.
You get them right, too. Man. You get them right.
No, that's it. Yeah, this is what happens. Every episode we're dropping mics at some point. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay if you don't know it. But what is true is, and just going back to the original point, it's like what is true is your journey is different than my journey, which is different than his journey. Mm-hmm. So the people that you can impact are the different people that he can impact that I can't impact. Yep. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, so you being, see, I said it. So it's like, man, this dropping
you good, bro.
Dropping nuts. Eat, right? Eat. No, but it's, I almost said it again. But it's just, but be here and just share your story or your journey through it, even if you're just asking questions about your own journey, is so powerful to people. Because now all of a sudden there's somebody that like I could just spend all day, every day with trying to pour into them that for whatever reason doesn't resonate. Because they're not my person to help. Even if I want them to be. You know, because it's like I could legitimately care about you as a person. But for whatever reason, we're just missing each other type of thing. And then somebody like you come in and you say the same, like you could say the same thing, and that's your person.
They can relate.
You know? And so every single person, this is my soapbox. Here it is.
There we go.
So every single person has people in your life that only you can actually impact.
For sure.
And so that's why you're here. Like never ask yourself why you're here, like ever. Because you're here to impact the people that you're here to impact. It's really that simple.
And in the Bible it says, but we overcome by the what? The blood of the Lamb, which is Jesus Christ, and the words of our testimony. You know what I'm saying? We overcome. They're trying to overcome something. They're trying to overcome an addiction. They're trying to overcome that hole that's in their heart, that thing that's missing that you're trying to fill. They're trying to overcome it. But it's just like you cheat them if you don't tell your story.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? What if somebody would have told you their story to you? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, don't be hesitant on that. My dog, step into it. And you know when it's time. There's no pressure on that, but you'll know when it's time, and you'll know who your flock is. You know what I'm saying? You know who your sheep, they'll be called to you. You ain't got to force it. It's just going to happen the way it's supposed to. But we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. So make sure you share your story.
Well, and sometimes you got some people in your flock that you're like, man, does this person have to be my flock, man?
Judas, how'd you get here, Judas?
Like anyway, Judas, you go to Nishatti's flock. He's got some extra room over there.
Get out, Judas. Any last comments for the people that you want to share with somebody who's trying to overcome something?
Yeah, I would just say, or is there any way, like, are you open to people contacting you if they have any type of like questions or like their struggles, or how would they contact you? What's the best way to contact you? Should they do smoke signals? What should they do?
Yeah, I mean, I'd give my information out to.
That's your camera right there. Look at it.
That's your camera, the middle of the map.
Don't look at mine. You look at that one.
Yeah, let's see my phone number. You want my phone number?
No,
I mean, whatever you want to share.
Whatever your camera. And whatever you feel like.
It's totally up. If it's an email, it's an email. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you feel.
Yeah, no.
And you can make one up real quick, and before we release the podcast, we'll get your
special. Might be your ministry.
Email is Z as in Zach, D as in David, Curry, CURRY @gmail.com.
Perfect.
Yep.
But yeah,
say it again, because people are driving. They can't write it down.
Z D
as in dog.
Curry.
How you spell Curry?
Z as in Zach. D as in
dog.
Right.
Or what's the middle name?
David.
I knew it.
Come on, you're making it confusing.
Curry,
CURRY.
Okay.
The spice, not Steph.
Yeah. @gmail.com.
@gmail.com, man.
I would love. I mean, anybody that needs help, because it's a scary thing to ask for help. That's what got me into a lot of trouble. Because I was too afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
And one thing I can say about Zach, and we haven't known each other a super long time, but like this dude actually cares.
Yeah.
Like he really does. And you could just get that sense just by sitting down with him.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you really are dealing with something, like, we want them to reach out to us, but like if you hear Zach's testimony and you want to reach out to, like, this guy
for sure
gives a crap.
Right.
So reach out to him.
Yep.
And you're like, I mean, you're sitting down with him now. You just feel it. You really do.
Yep.
You know, like with people like with me, you're like, I don't know about that guy. You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna start. Don't.
But Zach does.
Some credit.
That's all I'm saying. It's
but
like,
no, I do have that feeling. It's like, man, you got so much to give.
You really,
people, bro.
Oh, it's wild.
I got that feeling. It's like, man, you got so much to give. I can't.
And
wait
so much
to
say too. Oh man,
yeah, I just can't wait to see what it forms into. What your ministry is gonna be. You know what I'm saying? In what way, what form? Don't put yourself inside of a box, because God ain't inside no box. So if it's different from other people, it's okay. You might be a trailblazer. You know what I'm saying? So be open. Yeah, just be open to that, man. But you have so much to give, bro.
I know one thing. My next career is going to be in the boxing ring. So
in the
I can testify that that's 100% not going to happen. Yeah. Based off of early returns, it's not looking good. It's not looking good.
Oh shoot, Zach, man, we appreciate you, bro.
Yes,
we really
sir.
appreciate your time.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your testimony, man.
Yeah.
Continue to share it. Man, time flew by just because the story was so intriguing and. Man, you was at it like a savage, bro. But look
Yeah,
at you
for
now,
sure.
bro. About to graduate, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Congratulations
Sick.
on
Thank
your
you.
graduation.
Thank you.
My
I
man.
appreciate that.
Anything for him, John?
With the points. New rule, no pointing. That's where we're going to end on. New
That's
rule.
my boy John, man. Shout out to
You
my
look
boy
at your
John.
camera, you point at your camera. If you would feel the
I
need
ain't
to
looked at my
point, you
camera
point
that
at your
one
camera.
time, bro. All right, man. Love, peace, and hair grease. We over there. We out.